Welcome, deep divers. Today we're embarking on a really profound journey. We're diving into the mind of Carl Jung, one of psychology's most influential thinkers, but honestly, often kind of misunderstood.
Definitely misunderstood sometimes.
Yeah. So our mission today is to cut through some of that complexity. We want to extract the most important nuggets from our source material, which is Jung's key concepts: psyche, archetypes, and individuation.
A great source.
Think of this as your personal shortcut, a way to really grasp the frameworks he built for understanding ourselves, our dreams, even those universal patterns that seem to shape, well, everything.
And it's such an essential deep dive because Jung offers this unique and incredibly rich way of looking at things. Not just individual behavior, but the whole fabric of human existence, really.
Yeah.
It's different from approaches that might focus only on, say, environment or learned stuff. Jung goes deeper into the inherited structures of the mind. He suggests there's this collective aspect to who we are.
Collector.
Yeah, prepare for some real aha moments,
Right.
about why certain stories just resonate across cultures, or why we repeat patterns and what those vivid dreams might actually be trying to tell us. It's a journey into the depths.
All right, let's unpack this right from the start. Jung didn't just talk about the conscious mind, the part we're aware of day to day. He gave us a whole map of the psyche. First up, the ego.
Mm.
That's our conscious mind, our sense of identity, the I that we use to navigate daily life. Seems pretty straightforward, yeah.
It does, but that's just the surface.
Yeah.
The ego is our center of consciousness, or personal I, absolutely. But beneath that, Jung talked about the personal unconscious.
Okay, the layer beneath.
Exactly. Think of it like a personal storage unit. It holds experiences, memories, emotions that were once conscious but maybe got forgotten, ignored, or even actively pushed away because they were, painful or uncomfortable.
So unique to each person.
Totally unique to you. Your specific, unacknowledged stuff. Like that embarrassing moment you try not to think about, or even just, I don't know, what you had for breakfast yesterday that slipped your mind. And this is where personal complexes often hang out.
Complexes, right. Those emotionally charged things.
Yeah, clusters of ideas or images that can really influence us without us even knowing.
And this is where, for me anyway, Jung gets really revolutionary. He moves beyond just our personal stuff. Because separate from that personal unconscious, there's the collective unconscious.
Ah, yes, the big one.
It's not something we learn or acquire. He said it's deeper, it's shared, it's inherited, common to all humans, like a blueprint we're all born with.
Passed down through generations, exactly. So the idea is we're not blank slates. We arrive kind of pre-wired with certain ways of perceiving and reacting.
Wow.
And within this huge shared collective unconscious, that's where we find what Jung called archetype.
Archetypes, like?
Now, these aren't like fully formed pictures or fixed ideas. Think of them more as universal patterns, primordial images that structure how we experience the world.
Patterns, like instincts.
Sort of, but more like psychic potentials. They show up everywhere. Dreams, myths, fairy tales, religious symbols, even just our everyday interactions and relationships. They're the content of this collective library, basically.
Yeah.
The building blocks of our shared human story.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think. Because if the collective unconscious is this shared library, then archetypes are these incredibly powerful universal patterns inside it. They actually shape human experience, influencing how we think, feel, act, often completely unconsciously. It's like this deep programming shared by all humanity. Doesn't matter if you live in ancient Rome or live in Tokyo now.
Precisely. Understanding them gives you insight into humanity itself. And our source highlights several really key ones. First, there's the persona.
The mask.
Essentially, yeah. The social mask we show the world. The role we play, the good student, the efficient worker, the caring parent. It's the image we project.
We need it, though, right, to function socially.
Oh, absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
But recognizing your persona helps you see when you're maybe just playing a role versus being, your authentic self. That awareness can lead to more genuine connections.
Okay. What's next?
Then we face the shadow. This one's really potent.
The shadow sounds ominous.
It can feel that way. The shadow represents the hidden, the rejected parts of ourselves, qualities, desires, impulses we find unacceptable or primitive, maybe socially frowned upon, so we deny them, push them down.
So, the dark side.
Not necessarily evil, but definitely the unacknowledged bits. And the danger is, if we refuse to see our own shadow, we often project those undesirable traits onto other people.
Blaming others for things we don't like in ourselves.
Exactly. That causes so much conflict.
Yeah.
But conversely, if you can integrate the shadow, bring its energy into your awareness consciously,
Hmm.
that can unlock huge creativity, vitality, real strength, turning shame into a resource.
That's a powerful idea, that the things we hate in others might just be our own disowned parts. Okay, moving on. Anima and animus.
Right. These represent the inner opposite gender aspects within us. So for a man, the anima is the unconscious feminine principle, things like receptivity, intuition, emotional connection.
And for a woman.
For a woman, the animus is the unconscious masculine principle, assertiveness, logic, initiative. But it's crucial to see this isn't just about conforming to gender stereotypes.
It's more symbolic.
Yes, they act as a bridge to the rest of the unconscious. They influence our relationships, how we see the opposite sex, and importantly, our ability to balance these masculine and feminine energies within ourselves, whatever our biological sex.
Interesting. And the last big one.
And finally, kind of encompassing everything, is maybe the most central archetype, the self, with a capital S.
The self. Is that different from the ego?
Very different. The ego is our conscious I. The self is the integrating center of the entire psyche, conscious and unconscious combined. It's the symbol of psychological wholeness, the ultimate goal or guiding principle.
Totality.
Exactly. The totality of the personality. It unites our conscious self with all the vast, often contradictory energies bubbling up from the unconscious. Think mandalas, circles, symbols of unity. It's the inner drive towards becoming fully who you are meant to be.
It's really something to think that these aren't just, abstract concepts in a book. They're active forces playing out in our lives every day, often without us even noticing. So if these archetypes are the patterns and the psyche has this complex structure, what's the point? What are we aiming for in all this, according to Jung?
Well, that brings us right to the core, the journey itself.
The journey, you mean individuation?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Individuation. It's this lifelong process.
Lifelong. So not a quick fix.
Definitely not. It's the process of integrating all these aspects. Ego, personal unconscious, collective unconscious, all those archetypes we talked about, bringing them into conscious relationship with each other.
So making the unconscious conscious.
Largely, yes. Engaging with these inner forces, becoming aware of them, finding a balance. And crucially, the goal isn't perfection. That's a big misconception.
Right, not becoming perfect.
No. It's about psychological wholeness, balance. Recognizing and integrating all your facets, even the messy, contradictory ones, instead of denying them or letting them run wild from the shadows.
So it's about becoming conscious of who you really are, beyond the social mask, beyond the repressed stuff, moving towards that wholeness represented by the self.
Got it. It's a deeply personal journey, but one that follows these universal patterns. A quest for meaning, really.
Okay, if individuation is this lifelong journey, this quest, how do we get directions? How do we get clues from our unconscious to guide us? Jung put a lot of emphasis on dreams, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He saw dreams as a key, maybe the key.
Not just random brain static, then?
Not at all. For Jung, dreams are direct, honest messages from the unconscious. They speak to the conscious mind, but in the language of symbols.
Symbols, like in myths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Symbolic imagery. Dreams often compensate for what our conscious mind is ignoring, or they offer insights, even solutions to problems that our rational thinking might completely miss.
So paying attention to them is important.
Vitally important. But the key is how we approach the symbols. Jung stressed they can't just be reduced to a single, fixed meaning, like looking it up in a dream dictionary.
Though simple decoding.
Right. Their power is in their ambiguity, their multiple layers. They connect the conscious and the unconscious. They invite reflection, dialogue with your inner world, helping you understand your conflicts, your potential, where your individuation process might be leading.
That makes sense. It's more about engaging with them than just figuring them out. Now, speaking of things that defy simple explanation, let's talk about synchronicity. This one is fascinating. You know those moments? Things just line up in a really meaningful way, but there's no obvious cause and effect.
Meaningful coincidences.
Yeah, like you're intensely thinking about an old friend you haven't seen in ages, and boom, the phone rings, and it's them. Or a book randomly falls open to a page that speaks directly to a problem you're wrestling with. Jung had a name for that.
He did. Synchronicity. He defined it exactly as you said. Meaningful coincidences without a clear causal link. It's not A causing B. It's A and B happening together in a way that feels significant.
So not just chance.
Jung didn't think so. He proposed it reflects a causal connecting principle, a link between our inner psychic world and outer physical events. It suggests a deeper pattern and interconnectedness in the universe.
Like the inner and outer worlds mirroring each other sometimes.
Kind of, yeah. As if inner states can resonate with outer events. For Jung, these weren't just random quirks. They were potentially significant moments, clues, maybe nudges on our individuation path. They hint that the universe might not be quite as random as it seems.
Wow. Okay, let's shift gears slightly to something maybe more widely known, even if people don't always connect it back to Jung directly. His ideas about psychological types.
Ah, yes, the foundation for things like the Myers-Briggs type indicator, the MBTI.
Right. It's a really useful framework for understanding ourselves and also why other people seem so different sometimes in how they operate.
It really is. Jung started with two basic attitudes, which describe the main direction of our psychic energy. First, introversion.
Energy flows inward.
Exactly. Toward subjective experience, thoughts, feelings. Introverts tend to recharge by being alone, focusing internally. Then there's extroversion.
Energy flows outward.
Right. Towards the external world, people, activities, objects. Extroverts tend to be more action-focused, energized by interaction. And Jung stressed everyone has both tendencies, but usually one attitude is dominant.
Yeah, and the other is less conscious.
Less developed, yeah. Operates more in the unconscious. Then, alongside these attitudes, he identified four fundamental functions, ways we experience and engage with the world.
Okay, what are those?
There are two rational or judging functions. Thinking, which is about logical analysis, objective truth, making decisions based on impersonal facts.
Head over heart.
You could say that.
Yeah.
And its opposite pair is feeling, which makes decisions based on values, human connection, what feels right or wrong, considering the impact on people.
Heart over head.
Kind of. Then there are two irrational or perceiving functions. Sensation perceives the world through the five senses, concrete facts, what is right now.
The here and now.
Yep. And its opposite is intuition, which perceives possibilities, underlying patterns, insights, things that aren't immediately obvious to the senses, like grasping the potential in a situation.
So these attitudes and functions mix and match.
They combine in various ways. You'll have a dominant attitude, introversion or extroversion, and a dominant function, thinking, feeling, sensation, or intuition, plus auxiliary functions. This creates the different psychological types. It gives us this rich framework for understanding why people perceive things so differently, communicate differently, approach problems differently. Knowing your type can be incredibly helpful for self-awareness and for getting along better with others too.
That definitely makes sense. It helps you appreciate that other people aren't necessarily being difficult. They just genuinely process the world in a different way.
Exactly.
So this all seems to lead back to how we make sense of things, how we find meaning. You mentioned myths earlier. Jung saw a deep connection between the psyche and things like myths, religion, symbols, didn't he?
Oh, absolutely central to his work. He didn't see myths and religious symbols as just, old stories or arbitrary beliefs. He saw them as direct, powerful expressions of the archetypes.
Coming straight from the collective unconscious.
Precisely. They are humanity's way of articulating these universal patterns. Birth, death, struggle, transformation, the hero's journey, all of it.
So these stories aren't just entertainment.
Far from it. For Jung, engaging with these universal narratives, whether it's ancient Greek myths, religious texts, even powerful modern stories, can be a vital guide on the path of individuation. They provide profound existential meaning.
How so?
They help us understand our own struggles in a larger context. They offer templates for navigating life's challenges, finding purpose, feeling connected to something bigger than just our individual ego. They kind of bring everything full circle, back to that journey towards wholeness and living a meaningful life.
Wow. Well, we've certainly covered a lot of ground today, a real deep dive into the incredible breadth of Jung's ideas.
It's a huge landscape.
Yeah, from the structure of the psyche, the ego, personal and collective unconscious, to those universal archetypes like the persona, the shadow, animus, and the self. Then the journey of individuation, dreams, symbols, synchronicity, even psychological types. It really does offer a much richer, more layered way to understand ourselves and the world.
It truly does. And maybe, as you go about your day now, you could consider how might understanding these Jungian ideas change how you look at your own dreams, or how you react to those funny little coincidences that happen. Maybe seeing a potential meaning beyond just chance, or even just appreciating the different personalities around you a bit more, seeing the archetypal patterns perhaps playing out.
Food for thought.
Definitely.
Okay.
There's always more to explore in our inner world, and Jung's work provides such a powerful, enduring lens for that ongoing journey.